Smackdown, Smackdown, Smackdown. Is the horizon changing now, as everyone is saying, after what happened last night? Did Raw really pop a big of a rating in some way to what our viewership has improved? I don't know what the rating is, but to what I'm hearing right now, that the ratings are up because they, just putting all the McMahons on Raw last night to say that they're taking over the show, and I guess now SmackDown too tonight as the horizon changes. Is there really going to be anything different? Because I feel like I've seen this for years. Is Shane McMahon, and I'll get to him, especially with everyone saying it's the new era again. Even though when Shane returned 2 years ago, they said it was the new era, but now it's more new eras almost every other time, it looks like. But is there a thing changing on SmackDown? Is it going to be different to what I've seen? Is there some different stuff I saw tonight? Yes, but in some weird ways it went down too. And yeah, of course, they're going to show the people from NXT called up, which I've already had my thoughts on them, which I wouldn't say is the best crop of people they brought in. But then again, they don't know what to do with the last people. They don't even know what to do with the last current NXT people they brought in for the, after Mania and other places they brought them in for, and they still ruined them. But as you know, I watched SmackDown tonight. Was it better than Monday Night Raw? Because Raw was still pretty bad. And what was this? Fresno, California. Oh, let me say one thing about Fresno, California, real quick. And honestly, I feel like it's a majority of California crowds that have been lately. This one was dead. Okay, this crowd was dead all the way nearly to the main event. Other than the beginning they popped for, I will say I'll tell you who they popped for in a minute or two when I get into it. But after that and all the way to the end of the show into the main event, this crowd was dead. Like no one cared. No one, I felt, did not care through SmackDown tonight. And there were some changes going on, but nothing happened with this crowd. They were dead. Like they were quiet. That they only reacted to a move or two. But like throughout the entire show tonight, it's like whatever anybody did in the ring to talk, it's like no one reacted, and they all just sat on their hands and looked at their phones. That they did not even care what was going on SmackDown, and they maybe barely reacted to one or two things. But they were dead. Okay, Fresno, California was dead. I don't know why they keep coming here. They're dead. But to kick off the show, we went to Shane McMahon talking to the SmackDown roster. Everyone was standing around, which he talked about Raw, which everyone booed at SmackDown in. And this is a fresh start for SmackDown Live. It's going to be some new opportunities for everybody. Once again, they say the new era, which, oh, here we go again. It's like people said last night. They're pandering to the fans like they're politicians, saying, hey, we're going to give you these new things. And I'll get more of that. And, I'm going to be rehashing a little what I said about Raw last night. Into, yeah, you're going to say all these things are new, but watch it become the same crap by next week or two, and we'll be back to square one again, as in for Raw and maybe SmackDown. It's, for both shows then. As they talked about, we're bringing you this, we're bringing you that. And, we owe it to ourselves and the fans that we all create the best product as possible for the fans. And, everyone in the roster clapped. And, it was time to rip down the brass ring. I want you to rip it down and then grab the brass ring. And you're going to be all accountable what you're doing to the future. So, they bring Paige, which there are no more general managers now, pretty much. Since all the McMahons are taking over both shows now, there is no more Paige. Paige is not the GM, and they thank her for all her contributions to the show. And she's not going anywhere. Her role has just changed as the SmackDown roster said, thank you, Paige. I liked how they went to, when they were, some of them, like most of the roster was clapping, but I saw like Almas and Vegas standing there like, what are we clapping for? Like, what has she done for us? Like, got a good point when I think about like, I bet they think, what has she done for us lately? We're barely even on TV. And my question is this now. What the fuck does Paige actually do now since she's not the GM anymore? Because now I'm sitting there like, Paige ain't the GM. They think that, so what is her role? She can't wrestle right now. We all know that. Unless somehow she's medically cleared and they'll let her back in the ring. Do we make her a manager for somebody now? Or something? Some role on the show? Because what is Paige's next step after this? I don't get it. We're not doing any more GMs. Shane is still like, well, I guess he's somewhat the commissioner, or he's just now just taking over the show. But with all the McMahons taking over both shows, where does she go on from here? I don't understand it. Like, where does she actually go on from here? I actually want to know, because what does Paige do if she cannot wrestle? So that's a really big question now in regard to what happens to her next. Becky came out then as they talked about TLC. Becky, pretty much, she had the mic, the fans chant her name, big pop for her. And, she doesn't care who runs the show because she's the man and she's in charge. And, I don't want to hear no corporate speech or some meeting or in the back, all that. I'm here to take care of business, and the McMahon family, all she wants from them is Ronda Rousey on a platter, pretty much, man. And I didn't want to come here and lose to some Roddy Piper cosplay, she said, to lose my title. And, I was interested in getting my title back until Ronda pushed the ladder down. But now, at least I came to you. Says you want to come from behind. I came to you, all right? I came to your show and beat you up and made you tap out, okay? So she wasn't going to let anyone take her title away. But Charlotte came out next saying that you are number 2. You are behind the queen. You don't get a title shot. I'm next, pretty much. Becky, said Charlotte was another cosplayer and everything, copying her. And, Charlotte went on to say, you always gonna be looking up to me then, now, forever, just like the WWE catchphrase. And, as she kept talking, Asuka came out, which got a good pop out there. And she says, forget Ronda, I am champion now. Charlotte and Becky called her paper champion, so you never beaten me. You haven't even beaten me before. And as they keep saying that, Vince McMahon comes out then, which, once again, like I said on Raw last night, the sheep out there, they all pop for this guy and start chanting his theme song and bowing down to him like he was the man again. I do not get it. I guess they're casuals out there, majority of them, but still, the show is bad because of him, but you continue to bow down and sing and act like he's the man when he comes out there, which is still makes no sense to me when his music hit. But as Vince came out, he said happy holidays to the crowd and congratulate Asuka on winning the belt, but pretty much start going at both Becky and Charlotte saying, since you guys are whining out here, all you guys are doing is making excuses for yourselves. Get over it. And I guess, Becky's not getting another title shot now, since I don't know if this was a thing when Shane said this last night, it was going to be a one-time thing, but I guess everyone's just going to have to earn their shot now. There are no more rematch clauses, if I'm going to assume. So I think they really stopped that whole thing now. There won't be another rematch clause when you actually lose the championship. It's almost you have to earn it back. I don't know how to feel about it all the way, just because they've done it for so many times, so very long for a rematch. So I guess it's going to be different. I don't know if it was a one-time thing, but as Vince put it out there, pretty much saying, you guys, you're not getting anything, okay? All you're doing is making excuses. You get a problem, you guys should take it up with Ronda Rousey. So you want them to go to Raw and beat her up now? Is that what you're saying? I don't know what Vince is reiterating, but I guess he's going somewhere at that. But then, he told Asuka, how would you like to defend your championship tonight? Naomi came out then as she won a shot, and she said Charlotte and Becky had her chance. So it's me next. Which, honestly, this was the really next person I really thought of Asuka fighting the title for was Naomi, because what other girl was really on the level of any of the other women like Charlotte and Becky? I would say Naomi comes next. But when you got jokes like freaking Carmella out there and the Iconics, and I do believe DeVille has potential in a way, but I'm not really sure. Same with Mandy Rose to an extent. Vega's just a manager, so you don't really even see her wrestle really that much at all anyways. But taking away from this segment, though, just Vince kind of talking crap about both Charlotte and Becky. Said, you're not going to sit here and whine. You guys want to do something about it. So I guess they're not getting it. I guess Becky's not getting a title shot back or something. I guess she's not. I'm going to assume that. Now as for the Naomi and Asuka match, which this match, I'm surprised it went on. I didn't say it went on that long time, but I would say Naomi did get a lot of offense in, but it was something, I feel like I did see a lot of botched moves out there. And I don't know, something about this match was not good. Number one, I said the crowd was dead, that's one thing, but something didn't click. And so I believe they faced each other in the past and they had a good match before. So people say you've seen in the mixed match challenge they were pretty good, but I haven't seen it. But just watching these two like I said, I'm not saying the match was bad, but there was just something really off about it, that it wasn't that good, and it just got to a point where you saw multiple botches, and a lot of the moves were sloppily done, like the Oscar lock trying to get in. I believe Naomi, I don't know if it was the split leg moonsault or one of the kicks she did, looked pretty bad. And I thought the crowd was into it, but it just looked dead out there, which we knew Oscar was going to win, and she did get the Oscar lock on Naomi, which was pretty much immediate tap out, and she both looked at Charlotte and Becky, which I guess Naomi was about to celebrate behind her, but that didn't happen. But I don't know, man. Something about that match was just not good. But at least Asuka got a win, which she needs since she is the champion. I don't think the champion was going to lose, regardless if she won on Sunday. Miz went to the McMahon's office with the McMahon family, which he kept knocking on the door. Vince came out, which I guess he is now a authority figure on here. So, like I said, we're going to see all the McMahons on this show, including Vince, like before. And he said, "Stop knocking on my door. Why are you knocking like that, huh?" And they keep complaining about it. And, he asked if Shane was around. And Vince says, "Shane can't come out and play right now." And Miz tried to say, we can still be the best tag team in the world and stuff. And he wanted a blessing, from Vince. But Vince was like, what are you doing? I don't bless anything. I'm not into that, okay? I don't bless, which, I don't know what is it. I guess Vince does not believe in God or whatever, and, or something. I'm going to go with that. But then again, we've had Vince McMahon versus God in the past, and, don't get me started on that whole storyline with Michaels and them back then. That's for another day, but he was a piss, like, I don't bless anything, okay? I'm not blessing nothing. It's not going to happen. We're not going to bless anything, all right? And he told him not to do that. And, I'm going to make a tag team match tonight. And we'll see how good you really are. And we'll see if you can change my mind tonight. As Miz said he would, he was going to find a match, a partner tonight to go whatever tag team Vince was putting him up against. So, like I said, I didn't really think we'd see more of Vince McMahon tonight on here. Which I will say, at least it wasn't advertised for the show. So, in a way, it is rare he shows up on Smackdown. But I will admit that he did come out of nowhere when it happened. Rusev said, talk about he wanted a shot at the U.S. title, and he was a super athlete, and, he was a man of action who could, he sells beer for thousands of dollars to make sweaters for babies, and Nakamura looks like Sonic the Hedgehog because of the blue outfit. That's a good one, I'll give him that. And he said he would never run away. He won't even run away from Rusev because he was going to crush him. So he said that. Jeff Hardy came out, and Samoa Joe was going to apologize. Both guys were in their gear. Jeff had no face paint on, but he talked about Joe talking about his demons and everything and his mistakes, which, Jeff has had some demons in the past. Don't get me started with the drugs and alcohol, but, he said he's healthy now, and he demanded Joe to come on for an apology. Joe came out, and he says, you're sorry, but there was going to be no apology, he said. And, I'm not going to deceive you and everything. That everyone knows about the holidays could be especially rough on someone with such a fragile condition. But Jeff pretty much said, you want to remind me about my past, huh? And you want to go there and everything because, there's more to be resolved. And you're going to attack people's weaknesses because your own insecurities. And one thing Jeff Hardy, which I will say he kind of burned him right here, he says, here's something. You've been on the roster for 2 years and you have not won one championship. You haven't won any title ever since you've been on the main roster for 2 years now. Which is really sad but true. Joe should have been some type of champion by now, but they just, like I've said before about Samoa Joe, they just stop pushing him half the time, which they just don't want to put the belts on him. And you see they moved on after, well, then again they made him, that whole, feud with AJ was freaking mid-card with him stalking his wife and stuff. So that was mid-card, but, I'm not getting into that. Joe was kind of pissed. He tried to attack Hardy. Jeff hit him with a twist of fate. So Jeff left after that. So I'm sure we'll see a match out of these two later. On Miz came out as his partner, which is a mixed tag match, which was Mandy Rose. As Corey Graves saying I bet Vince McMahon handpicked this, which I wouldn't be surprised. When Corey Graves said that line, I was like, Vince and them would push Mandy Rose to the top because, as many people say, because she's blonde and she's hot, and Vince has a hard on for that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Vince gave her a major push like that to do. And I bet he would. But they went against R-Truth and Carmella as Truth and Carmella said they're number 30 in the Rumble, and they get a vacation to WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. Which, I'm thinking about this Royal Rumble thing now with Truth and Carmella. What I feel like Truth's just going to walk in the Women's Rumble, or he's just going to come out number 1 because they got to make him into a goofball, and it'll just be a waste of a number 30 spot or whatever. I hope that doesn't happen, but it would be some silly stuff like that they would do. Mandy Rose and Miz did win after the dance break. Miz hit the skull crushing finale on Truth. So, will he team with Shane now? I don't know, because I still don't know where this feud is even going at this point. I don't really even know where is Shane and Miz going, unless they're going to make them a big tag team now or something. Usos came out. As you know, they didn't win the titles last Sunday, but we never got pinned. And they wanted the Bar to come out, but Gallows and Anderson, or the Good Brothers, or the Club, or whatever they're called, and they're tired of watching the same teams. But I'm sure everyone on the internet has said that now, of the same 3 teams: New Day, Bar, and Usos. New Day, Bar, and Usos, which is really true. These are all facts. So now they're addressing it. But Gallows and Anderson, we haven't been on SmackDown in 4 months, and they're one of the greatest tag teams in the last of a decade. What, in New Japan, when you were in the Bullet Club, which I almost wish they go back to the Bullet Club now at this point, because even I'm sitting there like, I sat there watching their promo, and I'm like, I wonder when their contracts come up. Maybe they should go back to the real Bullet Club, now that I think about it. If they haven't been on SmackDown 4 months and they're saying they're one of the greatest tag teams of the last decade. In New Japan, you killed it. Main roster for WWE, nope. But the Usos said, we aren't responsible for you guys falling in the cracks. You either stepped up or you get stepped on. Gallows and Anderson in the ring, which, they had, I would say, a pretty good match. The match wasn't that bad. Like I said, the match wasn't that bad between the Usos and Gallows and Anderson. I don't know which Uso it was. I think it was Jimmy Uso was about to hit the splash on Anderson, but the Bar came out as Jimmy was, distracted by the music. He did hit the splash, but next thing you know, Sandy comes out, which got no pop when they came out. They started beating up both the teams as the Bar walked on and looked. The Bar just looked as Sandy pretty much celebrated, and then Bar pretty much came in and picked the bones of the fallen teams, just, proving that they're still there. And now when I think about this, about all the tag teams showing up at, Sanity and Gallows and Anderson, which I see we didn't see no Primo and Epico, but like I said before, I'm surprised both of those guys even have jobs still to this day, that they are irrelevant. But I don't know if this is a way to get all the tag teams. Now, I guess they wanted to dress it now. Like, listen, we know there are 3 tag teams, so let's try to put Sanity and Gallows and Anderson and make them something. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a week or 2, because I feel like these 2 teams are going to disappear again. Because, dude, Sanity have been dead for so long. I don't even know if they'll put Nikki Cross on SmackDown with them at this point. I'm not even sure, because they have killed that team since week 2 of SmackDown, and they have never been the same ever since. So now we're just seeing them. Same with Gallows and Anderson. Maybe they're getting, I don't know if they're giving them a shot. Maybe there's a change in this if they stick with what's going down, or these teams will be on for 1 week or 2 and they will disappear after that. Nakamura was kind of promo about Rusev, which was, I don't know, he was trying to make him more likable, I guess, which Nakamura just said, he says, am I supposed to be afraid of this? Which was Rusev with on Total Divas, and I guess all the embarrassing moments with him and Lana. I don't know what's on Total Divas, so I don't watch it. So I guess it was a way to make fun of Rusev by, saying I'm supposed to be afraid of this guy that's doing all this stuff, like mowing along and hanging with his wife and whatever Rusev was doing those Total Divas clips. So I don't know. And even though when I even look at Nakamura and I say, I've said this for last week, when does this contract come up? When's he going back to New Japan again? I'm waiting for it. I am waiting for it. Still waiting for it. New Day hyped their show for tomorrow as the whole best of 2018 show. And they hyped that. Daniel Bryan came out to cut a promo as he just said, he destroyed the house that AJ Styles built. He went on to talk about the earth and how the people are destroying it, and that their crowd is accused of being afraid of change and everything. And he talked about them, the lifestyles are endless consortium and consumption. and that the city of Fresno ranks number one in the population in the United States. Just the pollution. He talked about the world again. You're all killing the earth, and he started doing yes chants. And Bryan said, "You're a shame, shame, shame," and he counted. What was he quoting? Isaac Asimov, as he talked about, they self-educates and the only education that works, and it's worked for me and men like Isaac as myself, and that these people, all you guys are gonna pump yourselves with GMO through a drive-through window. I guess that's fast food. I don't know what GMO means, but I guess he's telling people gluttons and stuff, and that the crowd, you should be lucky though tonight, because I'm a wise teacher and I am your new champion right now. It was a good promo from Bryan, which he's, like I said, he's really going well with this. I still think he's an angry environmentalist. I don't think the crowd somewhat cares half the time. I think they did react. Well, they did react to some. That past crowds have, reacted in the past few weeks, but I don't know. This crowd was dead, but at least he was able to pull them in somehow. AJ Styles and I guess now the permanent person, cruiserweight on the roster, Mustafa Ali versus Daniel Bryan and Andre Cien Almas, which there's another guy you have not seen on TV in multiple weeks, so maybe we're finally giving him a shot too. Because, this match was pretty good, but the crowd, once again, was dead. I swear, when AJ hit the hot tag on Ali, nobody reacted. No one reacted. A good tag team match to main event the show. And I think the really big surprising part was Ali hitting the 054 on Bryan for the win, pinning the WWE champion, even though he's been on the show for 2 weeks. I do believe Bryan had a part on this, because I still think he's the reason why they letting Bryan have more creative control. That I guess he handpicked Ali to come up and make something out of him now. So I see where this is going. I still think, in my opinion, I still think Cedric Alexander should have made before him, because I've been saying for so long that this guy needs to be in the heavyweight division. And I said Ali would too, but him needed to go first. But at least they got Ali doing something. Now I know some people say this guy's only been champion not that long and he's already beaten him, but I wouldn't say it's a bad thing in a way, but I don't think Ali's going to be winning any title anything soon, because now they must be pushing this guy big. I remember somebody said something about the Smackdown 6 like it was back in like 02 and 03. And somebody tried to put Ali on there. I was reading somebody had Ali on the list, but I said this guy's only been on TV for like what? On the main roster for 2 weeks, and you already put him in the top, like, Smackdown 6 right now. Yes, he did pin Bryan. I guess, Bryan's trying to make him into a major player now, so we'll see where this goes on. I do believe, like, I know the AJ and Bryan feud is still going, but we will see what happens with Ali if they continue to push him this big, because I'm just surprised they made him a permanent person on the roster right now for SmackDown. Now, will there be more changes after tonight? Because yes, we did see some people back on TV, which I guess, they got wind of the internet and they said, you know what, you're not putting these guys on TV enough, so we're going to put these guys on TV now. So that's what I believe from that. And I know he has some matches for next week's SmackDown. I was in some segment with Miz and Shane, and Hardy versus Joe, and Nakamura versus Rusev for the title, which I do believe, as I am doing this video, the show is being taped right now, because no one is going to work on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day this year for WWE like they did, they had on Christmas Day last year right here in my neck of the woods of Chicago. But yes, SmackDown is on Christmas night, but I guess we'll just tape the show right now. I hope you got a good crowd reaction to do these double tape shows tonight, because this crowd was dead here, and I'm sure they're dead right now. This crowd was dead throughout the entire night. California was bad, but these are like it's like Bryan said about these fans. They are sheep, and they are very fickle of what they want, because they pop for Vince. And was it Sacramento and Fresno tonight? 2 pretty bad crowds, alright? Either dead or they just pop for the wrong freaking things here. So yeah, I believe it is a tape show for that. Will I most likely do a review for these shows? Yeah, but I'm going to stay away from spoilers. I don't really want to know what happens, and I'll find out when I see the show. I may not do no review on Christmas, and I'll just wait on that one, since it's, Christmas Day, Christmas night, or whatever, and I'll be probably playing some video game or something. But that's what I have to think about tonight's show in regards to SmackDown. Yes, there were some more changes. I don't know how well this is going to do with the McMahons. I do believe this was another way to pop a rating for SmackDown also, since the ratings are bad on that and Vince came out of nowhere. So we'll see what goes on from there. But we'll see if this whole new change, like I said about Raw last night, yeah, you want to bring more people from NXT coming up, but you didn't really know what to do with the last crop of people you have in NXT, because I feel like they're just going to end up again being buried after a few weeks, depending on who it is. And I only said a few of these guys have potential, but I've said before, watch the next few weeks or months, it'll be another McMahon Civil War, some power struggle, family feud thing. Some people even, I've heard this before and I didn't want to think it's true, and I may have said this yesterday, but I don't know, it's going to be like WrestleMania 2000, where you're going to have a McMahon in every corner and some fatal four ways going to have him for the Universal title, and they're going to have their people on their side of who they want to pick. Probably Triple H will have an NXT guy on his side or something. But with the McMahons taking over, just wait for the Civil War to go down. Wait for the Civil War to come down. You just waiting for it. Vince or Shane and them are going to crack sooner or later, and Vince said, this is my company, I get to do what I want to do. So we'll see what goes down. But is there a change in the horizon when I think about it? Maybe. Listen, they can say it and sugarcoat it all they want, but until we see results in action, we'll see. Because I've heard this speech many years, many times, and it's never really somewhat come into full fruition but a couple times. But I am out of here. I will see you guys later. Tell me what y'all about SmackDown tonight. This whole holiday week thing for WWE is still going down, so we'll see what this goes on from here. Not really gonna watch all this stuff like Tribute to the Troops anyways, but we'll see what happens. But I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace out, and comment and subscribe.